Thanks for downloading a 3CR podcast. 3CR is an independent community radio station based in Melbourne, Australia. We need your financial support to keep going. Go to www.3cr.org.au for more information and to donate online. Now stay tuned for your 3CR podcast.
Sabah al-Khair, good morning dear listeners. You're listening to Radio 3CR on 855 AM and Palestine Remembered with Robert Martin, Nasser Mashni and Yousef Ahmed al-Rimawi. Morning Robert, good morning Nasser.
Morning.
Good morning all. Good morning.
So what do we have this week?
We've got a great show. We're going to be doing a quick wrap-up of Benjamin Netanyahu, Roger Waters, the Quakers, and an interview Rob did last year with
Bilal Afandi.
Bilal Afandi. And Yousef, you're going to bring us an exclusive on a poor Palestinian, Fares Salamee.
Stay with us and enjoy the episode. Robert, tell us about what we are going to hear in a few seconds.
Bilal Afandi was a gentleman in a refugee camp who I spoke to. He owns a cigarette shop, so whilst I was in the cigarette shop, I got to meet numerous people that had been either shot, arrested, spent time in jail, or had family members killed.
So which refugee camp?
Dahisha. Dahisha, which is near Bethlehem.
And you met Bilal in your visit to Dahisha?
Yes, I was walking through there and he said, hey, come over, let's have a chat. And the stories I heard were phenomenal. It was very, very sad. But yesterday I was told that he had been rearrested. And so it's not the first time he's been arrested. And it won't be the last, unfortunately, and I don't know the reasons. I posted the interview that we're going to play, and somebody in Palestine said, thought I'd let you know that our brother Bilal has been arrested yet again.
So we are going to listen to an interview you did with Bilal last November.
Yeah.
And the same person was arrested yesterday.
Yes.
Hi, this is Robert again in Palestine. I'm in a refugee camp called Dahisha. And I've only been here for about 10 minutes and I've heard some horrible stories of the reality of what happens. And you'll see two pictures behind us. Introduce yourself and tell us what's going on
My
here.
name is Bilal Afandi. I'm living here in Dahisha as a refugee. I born here. Dahisha refugee camp, one of the famous refugee camp and biggest refugee camp here, in Palestine. Here we have, always we have something new happen,
And not good things,
not
bad
good
things.
things for sure. First of all, we feel that we are the heart of the Palestinian issue, and always here in the camp we have the soldiers and the Israeli military. Always in the night they came to catch some people. They say that they want them.
And it's about 100 soldiers that turn up?
Yeah, it's thousands. Of soldiers, because always they can the boys here in the camp, they go outside their houses in the night and they start to shoot, to throw stones on them, to not let them to catch anyone.
Of course.
And through that always we lose some people.
So to explain here.
Before 14 days, Ra'ad al-Salhi,
So 14 days ago?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago?
He was killed by the Israelis at 3 o'clock in the morning while they come to catch him. So always we have here some stories for the people. We still live under the Intifada thing. And Bara too, he's from 2 months, he was...
2 months ago, he
yeah,
was killed.
He was killed by the Israelis.
And how old are these kids?
This guy, he's 19, and this guy's 18. And this is one of the this kids, you can feel that they are very special kids. They are doing a lot for Palestine. They are doing even a lot for the Haitian. They are working with association, with international people. And here we have like a lot of people, they are educated and educated well about everything.
So they're trying to help by telling, you know, the internationals that come.
Yeah. So and Ra'ed, like he was like established a new like program for the camp. Like he was working with Laylak Center. He was wanting to do a libraries inside the streets of the camp. So if you want to read, you can sit near like small library and you take your chair and take your book and start to read. So here we have, you know, always we feel that we are under occupation always.
Because I think if people look at the streets,
Yeah.
the streets are very small,
Yeah,
and thousands of soldiers come, and you can see sort of what's going on.
Yeah, and here we have a lot of martyrs, like through the Intifada, the first Intifada, the second Intifada, and a lot of prisoners, like who goes to the jail forever, like more than 13 people, they are in the jail. Yeah, they're judged for forever in the jail. Like for me, I was in the jail too. I spent 2 years. My brother, his picture is there. He came back before 3 months. He spent 13 and a half years.
For what?
And for
Resilience.
Yeah.
Fighting
He was a fighter in the second Intifada, and they catch him and they put him in the jail and judge him for 13 and a half years. And
How old was it?
It was in 2002.
So how old was he then?
He was 17. Now he's 33 and
Because
half.
I think most people don't understand that part of the Israeli occupation regime is to put kids in jail, set them up for throwing stones.
Yeah,
and
for
then
sure.
They get
Like
out and
for
do it
me,
again.
for this guy who's like right, he's 18 years. He's like still like a kid, and he was 2 times in the jail before he did. So he have a big story, and his family is having a big story. And even if you like see all the people, anyone, kids, like or a big man, like each family they have a story. They have
Everyone's
something. Yeah, it's very. Yani, we can shoot here. You can see like the members of like.
Oh, so we go.
This all it's like. It's he's a martyr. He was a fighter, but all of these names, it's the names of the martyrs who was dead in the first Intifada and the second Intifada, and most of them, because we know them very well, like most of them they are kids. Like Qusay, he's from my family. Qusay Afandi, he was killed in 2008. He was 16 years. He was coming back from the school from Bethlehem. His father, he was having a shop in Bethlehem. He go to help his father after the school, and while he was passing, the Israelis were near like the shop, and they were coming to catch someone from Al Jihad Al Islami. So while he was passing, they shoot him. They killed him. They killed him.
Do you know of any occasion that a Israeli soldier has been convicted and put in prison for killing a Palestinian?
For
killing one? Because I haven't found one.
Who was killed inside the...
Well, anywhere, because the Israelis can do this and nothing happens to them.
Yeah, this is, like, even like the laws, what they have, like for the Palestinian, it's very crazy. For example, they can judge you for Tamir law, this law. It's if you didn't speak about anything, they can judge you. Or if there is anyone from the street, from your friends, from anyone speak about you, they can judge you on that. And like a lot of things happening, like a lot of, like from Dehesha, Ali Ja'fari, he was dead inside the jail by the Israelis in a hunger strike in the 80s. So nothing will happen for the Israelis, or you cannot do anything for them. Like
they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, they can do what they ever want, and even they like there is a law can protect them. But for us, there is no law for us.
Well, you can go to jail for doing nothing, but if you touch a shoulder like a soldier, they'll arrest you and charge you for assault.
Yeah, for sure. And you like a lot of people here in this time, as I told you, like each time they are coming to catch some people, they bought them for a security things. There is no one is speaking about them even, and there is nothing happened. Just like they said, you are like not secure for the area or not secure for yourself. It's very crazy what they bring and put on us.
Well, they make things up too, because I mean I know part of what they want to do is they just want to put the boot on your throat and say we're in charge. This is what we're going to do. And I know they also, they'll get kids to testify to things that they never saw just because they're scared. And then they use this testimony. Yeah. So I want people to keep sharing these videos, because I think people need to realise that the Palestinians are just trying to live, and the Israeli justice system, education system and armed forces are continually coming every day.
Yeah.
And ruining your lives. But you all still smile.
Yeah, we have to be strong and to smile. You know, like it's still like what we do for Palestine. It's nothing, because anyone wants like to have his, like land is free, but still like we are smiling because we love the we like the life. We love the people. We like to share with the people as like, and we love to show the people that we are like happy people, beautiful people, and smile people under any circumstances. Like we had a lot of bad things through the Israelis, but we have to complete. If we didn't complete, there is no one will come and like complete the things on like the way what we are doing. And also it's like when you smile for the people, like especially the people international, they come here, they can show the difference between what they heard about the Palestinian. Maybe they heard that they are animals. A lot of international people came and they have
and they're scared when they hear.
Yeah, they're scared. But when they say that we are more welcome, like we welcome the people, we like the people, we love to share even the things with the people. So this is what we want.
I encourage everyone to come, because the only way that you can get killed here by Palestinians is by love, humour and food, because they're the most beautiful people. And rather than go on holidays, come and see Palestine for the beauty, but also expose what they're going on.
You are welcome, and it's a pleasure for us to see you here, and it's a resistance for us what you are doing. Because like the resistance not only to fight, maybe to speak, to share the things, to share videos, pictures, stories about Palestine. So welcome in Palestine. We are good people.
Beautiful people. Free Palestine.
Free Palestine. Wow.
That was Robert speaking to Bilal Afandi at the Dahisha refugee camp in Bethlehem last year.
Nasser, looks like Bibi is going through a rough time.
He's struggling. I mean, he's not the first Prime Minister, nor the last, obviously, that's going to be charged or convicted with some form of impropriety.
So not only a maintainer of an ugly occupation, but also a corrupt one.
A corrupt one. And I mean, it just goes to the corruptness of Zionism. I mean, this guy, he's had the benefit, allegedly, of $1 million shekels, 350,000 Australian dollars. He's got cigars, concert tickets, being able to share James Packer's secretary, and had the benefit of private planes and whatever. And the words are fraud and a breach of trust. The fact that he's killed kids and maintained a 11-year inhumane concentration camp-like hold on the Gaza Strip and 2 million people, and the UN says it's going to be uninhabitable in less than 18 months. That's all by the by. But, now that he's taken a cigar from James Packer or a private jet from Aaron Milchan, a Hollywood producer, that's an issue for the guy.
I think it's also important just to mention that it's every single Prime Minister since 1996 has been the subject of corruption charges. Every single one. So it's not an isolated event, but yeah.
And he himself, in his first term in 96, was also interrogated for, there was something called the BB Gate in 1998. So it's not his first time. But like Nasser said, while we're talking about Israel, the maintainer and sustainer of an ugly occupation of other lands, and also the killer of children and civilians, and also the creator of an apartheid system, that becomes secondary to the fact that this guy is now the prime minister of a democratic country where he's being interrogated, and which is an indirect, good message coming out of Israel, that this is a transparent country, that nobody gets away with corruption, which I think, it defeats the purpose.
Well, as we know, Olmert and, presidents before, hopefully, in fact, the right place for Netanyahu and his ilk is The Hague. So God willing, we'll see them there one day. Yousef, moving on, because we've got a very busy show, we want to, quickly touch on a couple of things. Roger Waters was phenomenal for APAN last Friday. And if you go to the APAN Facebook site, you can watch the Facebook live video. And APAN is currently editing some professional video. So we hope to have that up on the apan.org.au
well, congratulations
website.
For that.
Look, he was phenomenal, Yousef, and everything that we've ever heard or seen about Roger in writing in the past, it's a different thing when you read a report of what he said, or if you read a letter that he wrote, to actually hear him talk about, A, what he saw, B, what he's doing, C, the cost of what he's done, the pressure of Zionism against him, and the reality is, he's Roger Waters. You don't care. He's gonna perform. But then with all of that, and to continue his struggle, I mean, the guy's 72 or 74 years old. You wouldn't know it. On stage for an hour, he didn't miss a beat.
He's in ripping Nick for 70. It was unbelievable.
Yeah,
incredible.
Yeah. He was phenomenal.
So congratulations again, APAN, for that.
So the APAN Facebook page and apan.org.au. We'd love for people, our listeners, to join apan.org.au, but you can find that video in the next week or so.
And hopefully we could maybe play a few bits in the coming weeks, because everything I heard about it, they've said it was just phenomenal.
Well,
So
where he was most if you will, entertaining is when he was really taking the stick to other performers, When somebody said, Elton John, he said, well, Elton John, this guy performed in Sun City. When nobody was going to apartheid South Africa, Elton John went to Sun City. And he said, yeah, I can go. I'm the Queen Mum. This is what Roger Waters said about Elton John. And then little Stephen from Stephen Van Zandt from the E Street Band, he wrote to him and said, what do you think you're doing there? And he said, and Stevie said back to him, to Roger, I think you should be very careful about what you do and what you say, because your career could be over in a heartbeat. Anyway,
when was this?
This is what Stevie Van Zandt from the E Street Band. This is what's his name? Bruce Springsteen's band. Anyway, and then Roger Waters, gave the F word in his head. He said F you. And then he wrote back and said, how about we should catch up for lunch? And Roger Waters wrote back. He said, okay, how about next Friday? He said, and that was 4 years ago. So when the recording goes up, it was very entertaining and very lively. So be sure to watch it.
Well, I think it's really cool also just to see someone with that presence or that opportunity to actually speak his mind. So many people don't do it. And it's just beautiful to see, and hopefully more will actually take upon themselves to speak the truth.
And a very quick update. As we know, Israel has issued a list of up to 20 different organisations that they've banned. In particular, one group, the Quakers, have been banned from visiting Palestine, Israel. And what makes this particular ban so, crazy is that the Quakers, the American Quaker group, rescued Jews from Nazi Germany, and they received a Nobel Peace Prize for it. And today, and this was in 1947, they got the Nobel Peace Prize in 1947, and a survivor, a granddaughter of a Holocaust survivor that was saved by the Quakers, said this: almost 80 years ago, members of one of these newly banned organisations saved a member of my family. In the late 30s, my grandparents did what any parent would do. They tried to protect their children. My grandfather, a young man of military age, had little choice but to stay in Germany. His sister was not yet 10, could barely remember a time before Hitler. She had not been raised Jewish, so when she returned from school one day in 1938 to ask her mother, what are Jews, She was surprised to learn that her grandfather was one, and according to the Nazis, so was she. Her mother searched in desperation for any way to get her out of Germany, and a connection with a British Quaker group gave my great-aunt the chance she needed. 9 years old and sworn to secrecy, she took a train alone to Hamburg, where another Quaker group helped her board a cargo ship for London. I know I am lucky that my grandfather, my great-aunt and their parents survived the Holocaust, but their story is not unique. Without the Quakers and their leaders and their Jewish counterparts, we would have been ended up in the dead.
But nevertheless, this did not stop Israel
from banning them. And to his great credit, the head of Quakers, Mike Merriman Lutz, said, "We will continue to stand up for peace and justice in Israel and Palestine, regardless of the recent Israeli announcement. Our response to the Palestinian BDS call is in line with our similar support for divestment from apartheid South Africa and boycotts during the civil rights era. Our work is motivated by Quaker belief in the worth and dignity of all people, and it is that belief that has led us to support and join in non-violent resistance to violence and oppression around the world, including the Palestinian call for BDS now and for the next 100 years.
That's beautiful. What Israel does not want to hear. No. So, in solidarity with the Quakers and the other groups who endorsed BDS and responded to the call of the Palestinians made in 2005 for the international community to come to aid the Palestinians after decades of injustice. So, you're listening to Palestine Remembered on 855 AM and on 3cr.org.au/podcast dial. So,
Yousef, you've got an interesting story for us. I mean, our listeners will remember the Tom Hanks movie, The Terminal, but we've got The Terminal times 9, 10 or 11. Yes. Let's start and talk about Fares Salamee.
We have the Palestinian Tom Hanks, Fares Salamee. Fares is a Palestinian refugee who was born in Syria in 1982. And like all Palestinians of Syria, they are granted a refugee status by the Syrian government and a para-passport that we call travel document to differentiate between it and between passports, regular passports. And the travel documents are given by Syria, Lebanon, Egypt, Iraq, to the Palestinian refugees who had been living there since 48. So, but the problem with this travel document that it does not get you anywhere. Basically, it's very difficult to find a country that can welcome you with this travel document. We've seen that in Iraq, and we are seeing this in the Palestinian-Syrian travel document. And half of my family members are holders of that. We can talk about them later. But today's story is Fares Salamee. Fares is married to a Palestinian refugee who held also or a holder of a dual citizenship of Morocco. So they thought because of the war we would go to Morocco. And they did go to Morocco. He was given a visa. But he was not given work, education, health rights or permits, so he couldn't basically survive without the work permit. So his other option was maybe we will find a country that allows Palestinian Authority passports, not the Palestinian travel documents. So he is like any other refugee eligible for a PA passport. And with PA passports, it's easier to enter countries like Emirates, where you hopefully can find a job. So he applied for a PA passport. He was given a passport. He went to Emirates and was given 2 months visa. In this 2 months visa, he had hoped that he will find an employer where he would offer him a contract according to which he can reapply as an expatriate or something like that. He didn't have an employer, and then he overstayed his visa, and 2 months after the 2 months, he found himself owing the government fees after fees. So he wanted to change his situation, and he approached the authorities and said, I want to pay the outstanding fees, and I would like to apply for another visa. And they said, you can only apply offshore, where you have to go to another country. So he went to Jordan, hoping that Jordan will allow him to go to the Emirati embassy, where he can apply to Emirates again. The Jordanians didn't allow him to leave the airport, so he was sent back to Emirates. And Emirates, because he didn't have the visa, also he was not allowed to leave Sharjah airport, and he spent 3 weeks in Sharjah airport in the terminal. Now his second destination was Kiev in Ukraine, because Kiev accepts PA passports by arrival. Upon arrival, you are given 2 months or 3 months upon arrival. He did arrive to Kiev, and then he said, okay, Kiev is close to Europe, where my other brothers and family members had made it. Maybe if I resettle myself in Kiev, I will be closer to my family. So he tried to get the PR, the permanent residency in Ukraine. He had no luck. It's a very complicated situation, and he was convinced that if you pay somebody some money, you can, get
people smuggler.
People smugglers. So he paid a lot of money. Didn't happen, and he ended up paying for a forged Bulgarian passport, where he can leave Ukraine back to Morocco. He said, okay, Ukraine is not happening, I will go back again to Morocco. But because Morocco will not allow you to enter this time because of the complicated situation you found yourself into, so he said, okay, I'll try with a Bulgarian passport. Before he actually booked his ticket to Morocco, he approached the Moroccan embassy in Ukraine and said that I'm a Palestinian and I just want to go and be allowed and permitted to live in Morocco. Like, we are Arab brothers, and but nevertheless he was rejected. So he took the risk and booked a ticket from Kiev to Mauritania, which is next door neighbor to Morocco, hoping that, there is no direct flights from Ukraine to Mauritania, and you will land first in Casablanca in Morocco, and there you can just say, I'm here, please let me out. But he was not allowed to leave the Casablanca airport. He was sent back to finish his journey to Mauritania, and in Mauritania they did not allow him to enter, and they sent him to Turkey. For a reason, the Mauritanians decided to send him to Turkey. Turkey did not take him, and he was sent from Turkey to Jordan, and Jordan didn't take him, and he was sent again back to Turkey, where Turkey sent him again and again and again to Ukraine. And unfortunately, he has been in Ukraine airport, in Kiev airport. So he has been from terminal to another terminal for weeks after weeks. And now the Syrian government has been approached by the Ukrainian authorities, and he really fears being sent to Syria, where he might be persecuted by the authorities, because the current treatment of Palestinians who flee Syria and come back has proven very dangerous. So he might be just sent to a prison in Damascus, where he will spend the rest of his life there. So this is a random example, Nasser and Robert Fares Salamee.
So Paul Fares, and I've been jotting these down as you've been speaking, Yousef. Syria to Morocco, Morocco to the Emirates, Emirates to Jordan to get his visa. Jordan doesn't let him get to the Emirati embassy, so he goes back to the Emirates with no visa. They go, you can't stay, off to the Ukraine. He manages somehow, between deciding, paying a people smuggler, getting a fake Bulgarian passport, trying to do the right thing. I'll go back to Morocco, but I can't go there. I'll go to Mauritania, because that way I can book a ticket through. Gets through. They say you can't stay. They send him back to Mauritania. Mauritania says go to Turkey. Turkey sends him to Jordan. They send him back to Turkey, and then back to Ukraine. This has all happened since December 9 last year, and for the past 2 weeks, the guy's sleeping, eating, showering in a transit terminal in the Ukraine.
And as we speak, there is no solution for him. So we will hopefully make a call for any country to accept Fares Salamee. If you ever hear this story about this stateless Palestinian, this is what it means to be stateless. So and this is what it means to be second and third generation Palestinian, as we mark the 70th anniversary of Nakba. So his grandfather had been kicked out of probably Safad or Haifa in the north, And he himself now has to go through another level of statelessness. I guess we can say more about the treatment of ex-Syria Palestinian refugees in the world later in more details, but they fall into the cracks of wall. I guess if there's anything we can do or say is that we will say to Fares that he's not alone. We have he has our solidarity and he has our support, and hopefully he will be allowed to enter any country. Thank you, and until we meet next Saturday, this is Nasser, Robert, and Yousef wishing you the best of time and salam.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.